Hi, everybody. It's Kenya Rockman, the author and founder of the Child Support Hustle and Reform Child Support Now movement. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I can't tell if I have people on here or not. I don't think anybody's here. Let me give it a few seconds because what I have to say is about this Department of Justice letter and the illegal arrest that they are still doing across the nation, and what I think will be a good or an effective answer to or response to what they're doing. Hey, Marcus, how you doing? Just waiting for some people to get on here before I start. Hi, Alan, how you doing? Hey, Henry. This camera's backwards, so if I'm doing this in my hair, it's like I'm swooshing it the wrong way. Okay, I'm waiting for people to come in. Okay, first I want to say that thank you, first off, for all of your support. Yeah, that is good enough. And for supporting the Reform Child Support Now movement, the Child Support Hustle, ending the Child Support Hustle, I should say. And I want to let you know that the booklet that I spoke about, if you were on my live feed a couple weeks ago, I have a booklet, 10 things you need to know that you should know about child support. Is going to be available on our website tomorrow. So you can go on there and download. The booklet is free. Just tell your friends and family about it. Just visit, download some valuable information. If you've already been in the court system or if you're on your way, I always say avoid it at all costs if you can. But there's some information I think you should know that will hopefully help you navigate. But hopefully you won't need it. But just to let you know, childsupporthustle.com. You can download it tomorrow. It should be there. Second, we'll be doing our Blog Talk radio show this weekend. Myself and my co-host Marcus Eccles, the Child Support Hustle radio show. We're going to be focusing on the dad by dog epidemic and what we can do to try to combat that. What we want to do is get as many men. I think there are some women that have been ordered a parent by default, but it's mostly men together and look at their cases to make sure, one, that their cases are valid. Did they get proper service? Like with Carnell Alexander out of Detroit, they lied about the proof of service. So he's going to be on our show also. So we're going to be discussing different issues like that. We're going to be having a town hall in Alabama in February of next year. So if you're in Alabama, we'd love to have you come out discussing child support reform, child support issues. And we want to be in Michigan again, Ohio, and Texas. If you want us to hold a town hall in your state, then get with us. But what we really want to do is open up a chapter in each state so that we have a representative that can attend the town halls and the different functions that the candidates will be holding for the next year's elections as they come up. So we're looking for leaders in every state. It's going to take time. So if you have time to invest and are a team player and can navigate, because we're going to be spread out and it's going to be a lot of moving parts. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know. Hi, Mary. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your continued support. Now, on to why I want to do this live feed. As you guys know, I do complaints. I'm not a lawyer. I have to say that first, because I'll have somebody say, "You're not a lawyer." No, I'm not. I am a parent that fought the system, the unconstitutional child support system. And because of my situation, became an advocate for child support reform. And in that, I like to help other parents by sharing information and advocating for them. And I help write complaints. And what I'm getting, I just did a couple today in regards to parents that had warrants for their arrest. Now, my first question to these parents are, did you have a hearing to determine if you could afford to pay the child support or the arrears? And the answer was both times no. I post all the time about this letter. This is from the United States Department of Justice. This was issued March 14th of 2016. This letter, and there's 7 points on here. It deals with the courts and wrongly incarcerating people who cannot afford to pay debt, suspending licenses if people can't afford to pay the fines, over fining people, if they lose their jobs. I'm reading this, and people becoming trapped in cycles of poverty that can be nearly impossible to escape. This is what this letter is about. It's very important, because if you're facing arrest and they've issued a warrant for you and you did not get a hearing to determine whether you could afford what debt they say that you owe, your rights are being violated. Now, for all of everybody out there, we know that the system is unconstitutional. The child support system violates many rights. What I'm saying is, for the right now, for the people like the two guys I talked to today that can't move around because they're afraid, they have warrants for their arrest. For those people, this is what I want you. Well, let me back up. The first one on the 7 bullets that they have on this letter. The first one is, courts must not incarcerate a person for non-payment of fines or fees without first conducting an indigency determination and establishing that the failure to pay was willful. That's the key word with child support. The person has to be willfully failing to pay. So if you are not willfully failing to pay, you haven't broken any laws. But to go a step further, if they're issuing a warrant, first of all, we know that a lot of times these child support workers issue the warrants. They're not even supposed to do that. They're not authorized, but I digress. They are not supposed to issue these warrants without you having a hearing to determine that you can afford what they're saying that you owe. Here's another part from this. This is just from part 1. The due process and equal protection principles of the 14th Amendment prohibit punishing a person for his poverty. This is Bearden v. Georgia, 1983. So I'm going to take bits and pieces of this, but I want everybody to be clear, because I always post this, and I did a video. The first video I ever did was on the fact that they can't lock you up, issue these warrants, first of all, let alone lock you up, without giving you a hearing to determine if you can pay or not. That's the whole issue. Even if you're civilly, what they say, you're in civil contempt of court, or however they want to word it, you still have the right to go and say, hey, I lost my job, I don't have any money, I can't, and they cannot lock you up. The Supreme Court has repeatedly held that the government may not incarcerate an individual solely because of inability to pay a fine or fee. This includes child support. And I'm going to skip down here because the Supreme Court recently reaffirmed this principle in Turner v. Rogers. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Please check it out. It's out of South Carolina in 2011, holding that a court violates due process when it finds a parent in civil contempt and jails the parent for failure to pay child support without first inquiring into a parent's ability to pay. This is key. And I went and looked to see what the Federal Child Support Agency had to say, if they had updated anything, because of course this is information they don't want you to know. But we'll find out. So they're saying state agencies should be implementing procedural safeguards when utilizing contempt procedures. Ability to pay must be determined. The Federal Child Support Agency is saying that no lawyers, they don't have to give you a lawyer, but actually you have a right to a lawyer if there's imprisonment as a possibility of punishment. That's part of the due process also. So the Federal Child Support Agency is saying, no, they don't have to give you a lawyer, but they have to make sure that the other provisions are met, that you have an indigency hearing, that can you pay? Are you too poor to pay? So back to what I was saying, if you haven't had that hearing and they just put a warrant out for your arrest, that's violating your due process, your right to due process. So what I'm asking everybody to do, and I drafted 2 today, so I can send you the draft that I have and I can help you write it or however you want to do. I'm suggesting that you file a complaint with the Federal Child Support Enforcement Agency on these grounds that you were not given this hearing and that you are demanding that the warrant be lifted for your arrest and that you get a hearing to determine if you willfully failed to pay. If you didn't willfully fail to pay and they can't prove that, then you have not broken any law. And again, I agree, no law has been broken at all. The child support system, I say throw it away. It violates so many rights. But as we fight for reform, or we have to do something right now for the people that are suffering right now, for the people that can't do regular things and do basic stuff because they have warrants or their licenses are suspended. I was going to go into the second. Okay. Due process requires that such standards include both notice to the defendant that ability to pay is a critical issue and meaningful opportunity for the defendant to be heard on that question of his or her financial circumstances. This is still in the part 1. So I put the link to this letter in the description. And I wrote a blog about it, and I post my blog often because I don't only have the link to this letter in there, I have other resources in there. So hopefully if this doesn't help you, which I think it'll help a lot, I have some other information in there that'll help. And as always, research. Don't take my word for it. Always look it up and find out what all you can find out. But I say file a complaint. Let's see. Okay, Alan, just if you can, email me cshustle1@gmail.com and I'll get it to you. Okay, I hope I'm saying your name right. Costello? I'm fighting back, Mary. I'm with you, as you can see. So, okay. So I just wanted to come on here. I know it's later, it's late and everything like that, and it's a work week, but just I was so upset today when I was writing, typing these, and I'm like, and when I post yes, Chuck, yes. That's not asking you, can you pay? That doesn't sound this in this letter is saying that they suggest that you have something, that these courts have something in place that determine, like a checklist to determine.